It's the biggest battle for the Cy-Hawk Trophy in history. Can Iowa's defense lock down another great quarterback? This Saturday, huge game. Iowa State in Ames, Iowa. Now, we got even more offensive talent that the Hawkeye defense is going to have to deal with. You replace Michael Penix and Ty Freifogel and others with Brock Purdy at quarterback, Breece Hall in the running game, Xavier Hutchinson and the crew on the outside for the Cyclones. So how does this week kind of differ from last week? One, I think you got to focus on the running game a little bit more. Breece Hall is an All-American type of running back in that backfield, and Iowa State is successful when their offense is balanced. I don't think Iowa's going to be able to replicate what we saw in week one. Those types of performances are outliers, right? That defense came to play, no doubt about it, in week one. But those performances will not happen every single week. But I think the big thing that Iowa has to do defensively, contain Breece Hall. Keep him under 100 yards, because if Iowa State can run the football with Breece Hall, that opens up their whole offense, both in the running game and with play action in the passing game with Brock Purdy and his weapons that he has at his disposal. You can't let Brock sit back there and throw the ball. That's where you're going to get into trouble. And that's because if he's able to get comfortable back there, we've seen what he's been able to do against good teams. Good things happen. Brock's a gamer, and he's going to be able to make some plays. It's just you've got to contain. On the offensive side of the football for Iowa, they don't have the weapons that Iowa State has. So what do? You got to keep Iowa State's weapons off the field. I think the biggest thing that Iowa has to do, you got to run the football. You got to control time of possession. They only put up 20 points of offense against Indiana. The final scoreboard, if you look at it from a raw perspective, says, well, look at that blowout victory. Iowa must have been humming on offense. Now, they were good, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't call that a humming offense right now. Spencer Petras was fine, but he didn't impress me over the top. The passing game, I don't think, is going to win this football game for the Iowa Hawkeyes. They need to establish the run. They need to stop the run on the defensive side of the football and try to force Brock Purdy into making mistakes. That's exactly what happened with Michael Penix. They didn't have much of a running game. They got in the face of Michael, and he threw 3 interceptions and created mistakes. If Iowa can replicate that on the road, and that's another big part of this, which I'll get to in a second. If they can replicate that, they could have a chance. This game being in Ames changes things. We know Kinnick Stadium is where sometimes teams go to die, especially higher rated teams go to die. That is an extremely raucous environment at times. It's a tough environment to play in at both day and night. We switch things to Ames, Iowa. I think that changes things. I think that gives Iowa State a slight advantage. They've got more talent on the offensive side of the football. I believe Iowa's performance on defense was a little bit of an outlier. I wouldn't say a mulligan or a fluke. I think they're a good defensive football team, but I think that type of performance is an outlier. I think Iowa State's got the advantage. Iowa has a key to victory. Run the ball well, control the clock, stop the run, force Brock Purdy to be one-dimensional, and Iowa State to put it up early. It's going to be a great matchup. Cyclones and Hawkeyes, I'm pumped to see it in the 3:30 slot on ABC. What do you think? Who's got the advantage in this one? And what do the Big Ten Hawkeyes have to do to knock off those Big 12 Cyclones? Thanks for watching.